Well, hello again. Can you see me? There I am. I've just been into town. I've got everything I need to do the first job of the few that I want to do while I'm home. The first one I'm going to do is the caravan. I showed you the caravan in that last video. I want to do the ceiling, tidy up the interior, and then maybe, if I can get the sheeting, do the rear, put the brand new tail lights on. So let's get stuck into it. Let's go down to the caravan, get it out. Welcome to another episode of Steve Stuff. There she is, cover off. That cover destroyed itself coming off. And I don't know what those things are made of, but I reckon I breathed in about 1 kilo of it. It's like powdered something or other. Anyway, look, this thing was parked here in 2017, just before I moved down to Sydney to take up the job at WS. And to be honest, the cover has looked after the van pretty well. So we got some air, we did it the old way. Got some air in that tyre, and what that's done is that's pulled the van away from the post. If you can see there, it was leaning up against, it was the rear one more than that one. It was leaning up against there because the tyre was down. So it's a little bit of movement in that window, which is interesting. And here you can see what I'm up against at the back. I don't like that box at all. I put it on there for a reason, because I was going to use this thing to camp in and stuff, and I put the box on there to hold the hose for the water intake, a chair, that's a little cooking barbecue thing. The gas bottle would have gone in there. It's very rudimentary, but it would have done the trick. And basically it's an old tradies box someone had on the back of their ute. I bought it off Gumtree or something, Marketplace, and just cut it to fit. So that'll come off easily. And then there's these things that I thought were nice at the time, but they just take away from the vintage look. So because I've cut big holes in this, there's just a single panel there. Looks like that's all I need to remove, or I could be wrong. Maybe that's a whole big piece. That's possibly part of the bracket for this. I won't know until I get the box off. There might be a way around it. Maybe I just need to cut along there and then put a trim strip or something on it. See, this extends along here too. Hopefully that's some sort of strengthening anyway. But yeah, you can see the lights I've bought will look much better on there. Reflector was for legal reasons. And there's your corner, which has come up nicely. It's all very manky. It actually needs, I bought those stickers. It needs a good pressure wash. So when we get it out, we'll do that. There's the last Rego label. So that's how long it's been sitting in here. But all the light fittings, the awning, being undercover and in the carport, that's the electrical inlet. No, actually, what's that? That's a power point. There's the electrical inlet up there. The water inlet's on the other side. And that is bracketry for a TV antenna, because just inside here, which is where the bed is, there's a TV mounted. I'll show you the inside when we get it out. It's a bit of a tight squeeze to get in there at the moment, but it's all good inside. We were very surprised it hasn't been attacked by mices or ratses. Even the ants have stayed away, so the inside is pristine and clean. Anyway, there she is. Next time I show you this, we'll have it out. Actually, you know what? I might start on getting this box off right now, because I've got good access. It's sunny and there's a breeze. That's how she's mounted. We've got a bracket like that. That's pretty shoddy work there, Stephen, in each corner. So what I'll do, and there's one at the top, one at the bottom, I'll disconnect the actual box from those brackets. I'll get to those brackets. I'll take them off once the box is out of the way. So I need to go and get a spanner. Look, there's not even a nut on that one. What was I thinking? I'll go and get the tools I need, and we'll get stuck into getting this off. Oh. Dead spider carcass. Trusty dusty vice grips will do the job. I've disconnected these are the wires and the ground for the tail light. They're gone. They feed in from under the bed in the caravan from memory. Same as the tail lights, get their power from under the bed. I've got to go up to the top here. And a 4x4 by you. Wonder what Lainey Wilson's doing today. Sorry, I've just stolen that line from Vice Grip Garage. Good song though. She's an excellent singer. Right, we have movement. Yeah, it's going to slide straight out when I take that one off. I mean, the one thing I will reward myself for is my ingenuity to mount all these brackets so that this thing just slid on and then bolted in. Because I am a one-man show. And sometimes things can get so difficult you have to invent ways to make them happen. Can you see there's a little tech screw just there and it's in the way of the bracket, I think. And I think there's just some corrosion holding that onto the corner of that bracket. And I got in there and forgot to turn the camera on and gave it one good hard yank and it came out. So we'll get that out of the way and see what we're left with. Brackets are off along the bottom and the top. The next move I have to make is to get inside, take the mattress out and get down inside the bed frame and remove these here. I've got some trim there that looks like it's riveted in. It's not going to be too hard to get rid of both sides. And it does seem like I have put this strip on as a little bit of extra strength to hold that box in. I can reuse this strip. This is all one piece. Can you see that there? But what I can do, I can cut along here and then I can put a new piece in and cover the cut with this trim. So that's about all I can do for now until we pull it out. Not going to pull it out right now. Tomorrow's Christmas Day and we're not going to get any work done, so we might as well just leave it in the shed for a couple more days and then get going. Straight back, straight back, straight back. Straight back, straight back, straight back. That way, left hand down, that way. Yep, keep coming, 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 word. Right, we're in a better spot now and the carport's free to put the Ranger in. Have a bit of a walk around, give you a better idea. As I said, it's aged well under that cover, considering it's been parked there for 7, nearly 8 years now. Areas of crap that need to be tidied up. I put this on for annex poles and things. That is a wardrobe rail. I should have known that it wouldn't stay chromed. Try and find a stainless piece for that. In fact, I think I've got some stainless left over down in the shed in Sydney from the double decker. That's the water inlet. So I put all these are just stuck on trims there. I did those to match the FJ where the paint colours changed. Now, around the back's got a bit of damage. I've got to try and replace this correct size. So there's a steel and aluminium place, but they're closed, I'd say, until today's Boxing Day. It's Thursday, so I'd say everyone's going to be closed today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and everyone will be back on Monday the 30th. Until then, I bought some things at Bunnings today for the interior, but we're going to give it a pressure wash in a moment. But first of all, let me show you inside. Okay. This was gutted when I bought it, remember? So I haven't gone and ripped out the old Carapark stuff and replaced it with new. So there's the little fridge, little sofa, little side storage. And you can see the ceiling is what I need to do. Sink, tap, electric hot water tap, covered underneath. I got as far as recessing beautiful clean hole cuts there for the ceiling. A little TV and a little bed. Now this was a 3-drawer chest of drawers, there's the third there, that I salvaged from the side of the road someone was chucking out, and I cut it down to fit under the bed and made a little storage area there. And what remained, I put up a door on, and that's a bit of extra storage. That's the TV antenna and stuff under there. So what I've done today, I've been in trying to find more of this, and of course they don't sell it anymore. So I had to go with white melamine. And I'm going to start again on the ceiling. There's the insulation. So that's the interior. Nice little cupboards. There you go. Time to get wet. I don't know if you've got mud dauber wasps where you are, but here in country New South Wales, they are an absolute pest. That roof was covered in them. They get in under the actual caravan cover. They like somewhere peaceful and dark. What they do is they kill a, well, they don't kill a spider, they grab a spider from its web, and then they create like a mud cocoon around the spider, lay their egg, and then when the pupae emerges, it eats the spider. But their nest, their little nest they make, they're just everywhere. If one of the old cars won't start, you'll be guaranteed there's a mud dauber's got in somewhere and filled a little hole or a tube up with mud. Anyway, the ceiling was covered in it. You probably saw the brown water running off. I'm going to keep going. Alright, so that shows you the condition of the roof. She's pretty brown and dirty. Some of it's nice and clean, other of it's... See, this is mud dauber nests. Anyway, it's clean enough. Let it dry now and go and see how badly it leaked inside. Well, knocked me over with a feather. It hasn't leaked anywhere. I can't see any drops, drip drop wet spots anywhere. At the front, I can see there's water's leaked down. If I lift that blind up, you can see it's leaked on the inside there. But not as bad as I thought. So what I might do is open up all the windows and the top hatch and let this all air out before I start working. I'm sitting here just as stumped as I think I was when I gave up and put this away, about how I'm going to make the ceiling look any good with all the angles. There's going to have to be like trim pieces. I reckon that's why I gave up, didn't finish it. Righto, I've been fiddling around in here for a couple of hours now. I've just been tidying up some wiring, pre-running some downlights that I obviously made holes for last time. So I've just done that one. I've got to go and get the junction box now. And then there's just that one. I've stuck some of this insulation down, got to cut the rest. Then I'll take out this brown stuff that I can't get any more of, and then might start measuring up ceiling pieces. Right, it's pack up tools time. I got a bit done. It was kind of trial and error, but I got a little bit of this melamine ceiling on, one of the recessed downlights, a bit at the front and a bit at the side. This bloody spray glue I bought that was on special seems to be useless as tits on a bull. I got it stuck up that way, so everything's wired in, as you can see, ready to go. I stuffed up, you can see the sheets out there. I don't have a workbench to use, so I've been working on the ground, and I stuffed up, I miscut one of the sheets of melamine. They're $35 a sheet, so I'm going to have to go and get more of that tomorrow to keep going here. So I'll do these corner angled pieces first, around there and around there, and then I'll tackle, as you can see, the very complicated ceiling, which is, I suspect, why I threw in the towel when I threw in the towel. That's the fan, an old vintage fan I got that I was going to wall mount, but not sure what I'm going to do with that now because it's quite heavy. But let's have a quick run around the outside. So she's all dry now, nice and clean. It's actually quite a good looking caravan. It looks fantastic when it's hitched up to the FJ, which I will do. I'll try and get that done before I go home when I've got the FJ running properly with the carby. But a friend of mine asked if they were FJ hubcaps. Yes. Basically, back in the day, when say this caravan was ordered, you've ordered a Carapark factory, they'd oftentimes ask you, what kind of car do you drive? Oh, I drive an FJ Holden, or I drive a Vauxhall. And they would match the caravan's axle to your car so that your car's spare fit your caravan in times of emergency. So luckily this one had FXFJ hubs and drums on it, and matches perfectly. So round the back's all going to change. Yes, there did used to be a window in there, but it was broken. So I sheeted that because that is now where the bed is. So you'd like a bit of privacy. I'm going to take that checker plate cornering off and then completely, if I can get it, replace this rear panel with what they call the stucco. You can see there it's got the stucco texture. If I can get a piece of that to do the back, I will be happy. Sadly, some of the paint hasn't survived the pressure washer. I might just leave that. Still don't know what I'm going to do with this caravan yet. Once I've got it done and finished, do I sell it, do I keep it? It's taking up room. I don't know. All I do know is that I didn't do a bad job on it. She looks the goods. Before I go, I'll show you this little nifty feature. The screen there and the door, they separate. So that can be closed. Or if you relaxing in the caravan park, she can be opened. How good is that? All right, see you soon. Next day. You can see I've been fettling away in here. We got a bit of work done. We had a storm this morning, bit of rain. That sent everyone indoors. I caught up on a few episodes of NCIS New Orleans. Then I ran into town to get some more melamine, that white sheet there. But got a bit more done here. Got around the edges to the back. Still got that to do, which will be, I've got to pull that PowerPoint out and drop the TV so I can get that in. But that's where we're at the moment. And right now, I'm fiddling around with these triangle corners. So I've cut some cardboard templates out. 2 of them fit. We'll try, see if we can cut the melamine now to fit. So the first 2 have worked. That one there is just sitting there. That one there is just sitting there. A little bit of a rough cut there. But this is my secret weapon. This is the same chrome trim. It's 20 millimeters. It's going all around the outside of the caravan, and I've ordered a whole bunch, 5 new rolls, because this is going to be my secret trim weapon. And that will cover over every join. Sorry about my hands, they're dirty. Sawdust. Anyway, that'll be the trim, carrying a bit of chrome into the inside, but that'll tidy up those joints, these ones along here, pretty much wherever something joins together, it'll have a chrome strip. So now I'll go and cut that one. And that one fit, well, it's just sitting there at the moment, that's why it looks wonky, but it is good enough. I'm just deciding now whether to glue them or screw them. I think gluing would look better. Just leave that sit there while it dries. As you can see, a little bit of gappage, but again, the trim strip, the chrome strip, will hide that nicely. I don't know if you can see that or hear that, but there's a storm brewing. We've had one already today. Looks like it's going around us, but I just wanted to show you what I've done today. It's been another one of those days of just piss farting around. Not worth videoing anything, a lot of just tedious crap, but I do have the power plugged in, so let me show you. Yeah, outdoor lights working. Turn them off, come inside. Whoa. So the reason, I've only got them all connected to the one circuit, but the reason they're spaced the way they are is there's a light here if you're sitting down reading or watching TV or doing things. There's a light directly over the sink, and there's one over the bed, again, if you wanted to read a book. Got the PowerPoint in there, that's just jammed up there to wait for that glue to go off. So basically the edging, or the scalloped part, if you could call it that, the kind of angled part of the ceiling is all done now. It's just kind of sitting there. But I got it all finished today. I've also got a lot of those timber fillets in, and I've got enough of the roofing to maybe just get from here back to there done tomorrow, and then I will need another sheet, $35 a sheet to finish off that end. So I might go and get that tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. It was really busy in town today, and like I said, with the storm and the rain, people running around like twats. But there is what has been done so far. Turn the lights off. I'm going to lock her up, unplug that power cord, and put her to bed. So again, I know that was a very short day as far as you're concerned. It was a long day. I just wasn't filming at all. But I'll see you again tomorrow. Much nicer day today. It's cooler. Yesterday was a scorcher, and then we had the storms and the rain. It was humid. Today's nice. Even the cicadas like it. So where we're at now is I've just put the last timber batten in. So I'm going to try and get this large piece all the way to here, and then we'll just finish to the roof hatch. Progress. That looks shit house. I need to go back into town and I don't want to do it today. I've got to go in tomorrow for a couple of other reasons. So I need to buy longer screws for the ceiling. I need to buy sharper drill bits. And I need to buy some more sheets. So, I mean, remember when the trim strips are up, it'll cover all these gaps and things and a lot of the screw heads. But anyway, it's got more ceiling than it did a week ago when I came up from Sydney. While I'm waiting to go into town, which will be tomorrow now, to get some more of that and some more of that, I can't be bothered going into town. I've been in already today, but I've just started to think about the treatment I'm going to do at the back here. Now, with all the new lights I got from Holden UK, and that's not Holden, there were a few comments on the last video, that's not Holden as in the car, it's Holden as in a company that specialises in repopped lights, electrical bits and pieces for car restorations. So I've bought the full set of lights, but I realised I need a number plate lamp, and I had this on the back of that box that was on the back of the Caravan. This is from an FJ Holden. This is from a standard model. The special, which I have in the shed, the special was the luxury model, if you like. It had a chrome tail light. I'll show you. The FJ came out in, well, if you leave the ute and the van out, they came out in 3 sedan models. The standard, there was the business sedan, and this is the special. I could be wrong. Maybe the business did have chrome, but the standard definitely did not have a chrome taillight. It was painted body colour, and I think the business did as well. Yeah, this looks like it's been painted. Looks like it's never been chromed, this one. But I think I should be able to get it to look okay sitting on the... So it's designed for the curved boot. You can see that it's got the curve on the mounting base. If I can get it there, I need a number plate light. This has a, well, you saw on the FJ one just there, it has a red lens, but at the bottom it's clear. So it acts as a number plate lamp as well. So I'm going to try and see if I can hit this with the chrome spray and make it look any good. If it doesn't, I'll sand it back and I'll paint it the same colour as the Caravan. So let's have a bit of a muck around with this. So I gave it a light sand and a tidy up, and I've wiped it clean to try and make sure there's no oil from my fingers on there. I can see fingerprints. This stuff's quite good. I think it's about the best you can get on the market. It still looks like spray, but if you prep it properly, which clearly I haven't, it does come up pretty well. Let that dry. Don't go too thick with it. Let it dry and I'll give it another coat, see what happens. While I've got the spray out, I might give this curtain rod a bit of a go. I've just given it a rough sand with some 40 grit, and we'll see how it comes up. Not too bad.
certainly looks a lot better.
Well, that's turned out quite well, actually. And as you can see, with the lights that I bought for the tail, the same sort of peaked shape, I think that all should tie in nicely. It's good paint, that, isn't it? So after a couple more hours working on the ceiling, we've got it all in. Now, it doesn't look the best, I keep saying this, because the trim pieces have got to go in. It's all just kind of sitting there at the moment. I tightened this wardrobe back up, it was a bit loose. I got the TV back in. I'll come and check that later when I plug the power cord back in. So, I mean, a lot of these look wonky, they look a bit gappy. The trim should fix all that. But, let me sit on the bed and show you. The ceiling is in. This hatch still, there's that many bloody holes in this trim. I'll tidy that up, but that trim is on there now. And we have a caravan with a ceiling. Yarpa-to-do. I can't do anything else now until I get the rear sheet, which hopefully the steel guy will be open tomorrow. I can get that. When I get it, I'll pull this mattress and this bed out of the way and take off that rear paneling. I need to get in there to get to the wiring for the lights. That's a job for tomorrow. And I think right now, I've got a job for a beer or two to tickle the back neck. Last night I got the TV antenna out, mounted the TV, and just sat in there and watched the news, had a beer. Everything's working. The only thing that doesn't work is the hot water tap. And I suspect that's probably because I think it's a little tank set up with a heating element in it. And I think maybe the fact that it's been sitting there for 7 years, possibly with water in the little tank, and it's just corroded. I'll show you this little jobby here. So it's plugged into the power point. There's power to it, but the light doesn't come on. When I open this tap, that light's supposed to come on and it doesn't. So I think that's no good. There's also a bit of a leak down around this drain. I think it needs some silicone. Last night I also connected the hose to the inlet and forgot to check everything was tight, and that wasn't up there, wasn't tight, and I got water everywhere. It's still a little damp. I'll open all the windows now and try and get that to dry out as I explain what's happened today. Quite an easy little setup actually. You just drop that little lever in there and it sits inside a notch. Oops, in theory, there we go. Over here was a little bit broken, so I made one up. It's effectively the same thing, it's just a little bit harder because I riveted it. There we go. Stay there. No, you're not going to pay for me, are you? There we go, that'll do. Just get a bit of air circulating in here and try and dry this carpet up. So what's happened is none of the steel suppliers in town are open today. Today's the Monday before New Year's Eve. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. And no one's open. There are some places open. Car dealers are open. Hardware stores. The hardware stores here, neither of them sell the sheet size I need. I've been measuring from here to the bottom. So I need 1520 by 1570 by 920. The biggest sheet Bunnings sell is 600 by 900, so that wouldn't even cover, even if I did 3 sheets that way, it still wouldn't reach the bottom. Yeah, so all the metal supplies are closed, and I suspect they're probably going to stay closed this week, which kind of ruins me. So the other thing I could try is, I just want to delete these holes. So what if I cut along here and just replaced, I'd have to do it with 2 sheets, cut in the middle, and then try and find a way to cover up those holes that I've done at the bottom. I'm going to take that checker plate off both corners. So anyway, what I might do is I've got to get the bed out so I can get in behind here, disconnect these lights and get rid of these. But that trim there's given me an idea. Maybe I can do something like that and just get it looking a lot better without that box and with some new tail lights. I honestly can't remember. I've just had a look at the wiring in the back and there only seems to be 2 wires going to this. So I've got a feeling I've set it up so that this central FJ tail light was the stop tail and these 2 were just indicators. I think that's what that looks like. I'll have to test them, and to test them I'm going to have to bring the car up and plug the van in. Right, I've got the car, the Commodore Ute plugged in. My Ranger doesn't have a tow bar, so So now I'm going to test. I think these two big ones are blinkers only, and this is stop tail. So hopefully the earth is good enough to make that work, but let's go and see. I'll put the hazards on first. Nothing. There we go. We've got a tail light. I've got the tail lights on, so that's proving. I started to think maybe my lead wasn't working, but why aren't we getting blinkers? That is an indicator. For some reason doesn't work on the hazard circuit. Let's check that one. And while I'm at it, hopefully, let's see if we've got a brake light. Righto, I just did some messing around with some wires and stuff. Got the multimeter out, so can you see that? We've got a tail light there. All right. Now we'll go and try the brake. Success, that looks like. So the caravan's back into the carport. It's the 2nd of January and the steel place was open today, so I got the aluminium I need. Didn't manage to get the stucco print. They can order that, but he said he didn't know how long it'd take, so I just got a regular sheet of aluminium, big enough to replace this hole back. And now I feel like I'm back working on the buses because I've got about 3 million rivets to drill out. Here we go. All the rivets are out. Now the dilemma I have is trying to get this out without bending it, because I want to use, obviously, this piece as a template to cut the other piece. But I've got a feeling, it feels like the edge of this is rolled up underneath. That's a bit of box frame under there. It's rolled up about 1 centimetre all the way along. So I'm probably going to have to get under there and unroll that before this will budge. I'll just try it first though, but I don't want to bend it or kink it. There we go. Aha! Hey! Wacko. Now that that's off, I can tidy up in under there and redo those tail lights, the loom. This lead is running underneath the chassis all the way to the front into that plug that you plug into your car, your trailer thing. So now, from what I can tell, yellow is right-hand indicator, because I've got that going to that direction with a black earth all tangled up here. White and red seem to be stop and tail. Then I had them going up here to the centre where I have that FJ light, which I'm going to retain and just have it a tail light. So it's one of those two. I can't remember which is which. Might be hard to swap them around. Green is the left-hand indicator, which I've carried over to here with another earth. And black is obviously an earth that I had plugged into, I think, that central one. So now, because I've got indicator stop tail going over here, indicator stop tail, I've got to make a loom. Here's the loom. Right, so this has come out from under the chassis. I've split that into the wires that I need for indicator, stop, tail, blah, blah. Used some blocks and proper connectors this time, and I've run the loom up there. So we've got earth, first white wire is tail, and then the blue is stop. I ran out of red. We're just using what we had. Blue is stop, and up the top is indicator. Right, so we follow that down around here, and then we come to here. Red is stop, so that's the center. White is the bottom, that's tail, indicator. And then I just needed one more feed up the middle of the tail light circuit. That's for that FJ light that I'll have in the middle. It's got the clear bit of lens at the bottom for a tail, for a number plate. So that is done. It's not the tidiest, but it's tidier than it was. It's all secure. It's all insulated. So what I'm going to do now is just self-tap the old panel back in. I'll go into town tomorrow, get a proper cut. These are the wrong ones, these are for steel. I'll get an aluminium cutting disc for the grinder. I'll also get some paint matched to this so that I can paint the new panel. Taillights go in. Hopefully tomorrow will be the last day on this caravan. So until then. Alrighty, next day. Sheet is cut. It's a lot thicker. I've got to tidy that up yet. It's a lot thicker than what came out of there. The music's on, so hopefully YouTube doesn't pick up on that. I'll just keep talking. So what I'm going to do now is the loom's all ready. I'm going to slide this up in there and then rivet in a couple at the top to leave it swinging so I can start to line up some of the bottom ones. So we'll give that a go now. Progress. So I've got a couple of rivets holding it up at the top there. And now I've just marked out all the rivet holes down the side and just test fitting the tail lights. What I'll do is run the wires through there, make sure everything's lined up before I actually rivet this all down. So, and then that way I can terminate the lights and the wires from the outside instead of doing it from inside. I've got the tail lights test fit, as you can see. I'm happy with that, happy with the placement. They look really good. These are the ones I got from the UK, a place called Holden. Very similar to like Morris Minor lights and Mini and stuff, but they've got a flat base. Anyway, now I'm going to work out where to put the FJ tail light, that one there, so I can drill some holes and get that all ready, and then I will paint this. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm spending way too much time on this, but if I don't get it right, it'll look stupid. So what I've got is this FJ tail light. I need to use it as a number plate lamp. And I've decided I want to run it exactly the same height as that stoplight in the middle there. So I've got centre lines here, I've got centre lines there, and I'm trying to line up the bolt holes and get it to sit like that, about there. And then the number plate will sit under it like there. And it all should look nice and centered, and it won't hurt my OCD. So I'm just trying to get it all perfect, and then I'll take all this apart, I'll drill all the holes, and then I'll paint this panel. It's going to be the same pale blue colour. As I said, I'm spending way too much time on it. I've ruined the finish of this, so I'll give this another sand back and another paint. I'll be making some rubber gaskets for the back of it as well. Fiddly stuff, but you've got to do it to get it right. There's the final placement of taillights, the number plate light, and the number plate itself. So that's all drilled. Now I'm going to pull it all apart. I'm just going to cut the bottom off. I was going to roll that up underneath the frame there. See that extra? There's an extra about 1.5 inches. So we've worked out if I try and do that, hit it with a hammer, it's just going to ripple. So I'm just going to cut that and rivet that bottom bit to the frame at the bottom. Sparks there. Can you see the sparks? That's telling me that I'm going into metal, because aluminium doesn't spark. But I'm right on the bottom, very bottom of that frame, so it's okay. A little bit of nick there, but it's going to be painted, so it should be okay. Get out of there. Oh, that's hot, that's hot. So the next job is to take all this stuff off and then get a sandpaper disc out, just rough that aluminium up a bit, give it a coat of paint. Okay, I think we've got a pretty good colour match there. The chick at Bunnings did well. It should dry a little bit darker, and then we'll see how it looks. It looks like a pretty good match, especially over here. But then you look at this side and it looks completely different. I think that's just the reflection off that tank, and a bit brighter sun around here. I hope that's all it is. If push comes to shove, I could put a decorative strip down there to break up the eye, because I think the original Caravan, when I painted it, I clear coated over the top. But this is a pretty good match, as I said. First coat done, let that dry. If I can get a second one on today, I will. Otherwise, it'll go on tomorrow. Righto, we're a couple of days later, because I'm a victim of my own idiocy. I messed up the paint. I wasn't happy with the finish. I sanded it back, scratched it, painted it again, using the same roller, which was wrong, and it just looked worse. So I had to wait for that to all dry again overnight. Got the correct roller. It's better. I'm still not 100% happy with it, but it's got a nice kind of textured finish, which goes with the sides. Anyway, what I'm doing right here is test fitting all these lights. I wish I had have just gone with a stupid number plate light instead of this, because it's been an absolute faff, but it's kind of in. I've got to tighten it up, tidy the wiring up behind it, and I've been testing all of these. I've got the ute connected to the Caravan, you can see at the front there, just to test all these circuits before I rivet everything up. Sadly, I'm still waiting on these trims, which I need for here and for inside. The tracking information has got the package somewhere between here and Sydney. No one's answering their phone. There's a good chance I won't get that in time. Globes in, lenses on, no trim rings yet. Before I do anything further with rivets and whatever, check that these all work. Now I'll just get inside, tidy all the loom up, make sure nothing will get crimped or caught or squeezed when I rivet this back panel back in, and get that done. Number plate and plate holder on. Not sure how I like this now, or if I do at all. As you can see, I've used a backing plate and I painted it the same colour as this. But because this finish has turned out very similar to that, it's like it disappears, and the plate's sitting inside a frame that's too big for it. So I could turn that over and use the shiny side of this, or I could leave it. I'll just think about it. And there is the 99% finished product. Still waiting on the strips. They didn't turn up today. I got 2 parcels today that I ordered last week, and I'm waiting on these strips that I ordered Christmas Eve. The parcel delivery mob up here are absolutely woeful. I won't name names. I won't be that guy today. If they're not here tomorrow, I might have to finish this video without showing you the trim. Anyway, hopefully that won't happen. That's the end result there. Reflectors are on, the corner bits are on, all the tail lights, everything work. I'll come out in the dark tonight and show you the lights. Righto, the sun's gone down and I think it's dark enough in here now to check the lights properly and make sure that the number plate light works. Everything's working. Brake lights, good. Tail lights both sides, and this is the one I wanted to check. The light for the number plate is working, so that's looking good. How good is this? Lying in the van watching an Aussie classic. As you can see, the ceiling not finished, but it's looking a lot better than it did a couple of weeks ago. And yes, it's taken a couple of weeks, a good chunk of my time off to get this video to you, with waiting for the steel place to open, waiting for this parcel to arrive, which never did. And we had a couple of days of solid rain the last couple of days, which slowed me down as well. But in the end, I'm happy with the result. I hope you are as well. I'll try and bring you the end result in the next video if this stuff arrives, which it probably will. As soon as I upload this video to YouTube, I bet you that parcel turns up in the next post. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I mean, this has been a project that's been a long time coming. I bought this van in 2017, did some solid work on it for months and months and months. And then all of a sudden I had to up stakes and move to Sydney for work, and I just kind of threw a cover over it and left it in here. So when I opened it back up again, and you were with me when I did that, I was quite surprised at how well it survived and how good it looks. Really happy with it. I don't know what to do with it now. Should I sell it? Should I keep it? I mean, if you know someone or yourself, you might want to buy it. Reach out in the comments. I don't know what to do with it. It's taking up space. At the same time, it looks really good when it's hitched up to Edna, the FJ. That's they're called Edna and Norman after the Everidges, Dame Edna Everidge and her husband, because of the blue rinse hair on the FJ. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to hook the FJ up to it because the FJ has issues, and that's the subject of the next video. I'm going to teach myself how to rebuild a carburetor. There's dirty fuel. We'll probably end up taking the tank out, brakes, all that sort of stuff. So that's coming up in the next one. But I do hope you enjoyed this. We got there in the end. I'm really happy with the way it's turned out, and I'm going to continue to show this van some love. Next time I come home, I'll get in there and I'll get underneath it, and I might give all of the underneath a good coat of fish oil and underbody and stuff like that. So once again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell your friends, and check out the Steve Stuff page on Facebook. It's not all about buses, it's just about stuff that I get up to. Anything with wheels, we'll have a go at. This was a caravan. The next video is going to be a car, and then after that, when I get back to Sydney and hopefully that radiator's finished, it'll be back to the buses. Until then, thank you once again for watching. See you soon on Steve Stuff.